the daily English newspaper of Navi Mumbai. Today we have with us a very young, dynamic personality, Mr. Abhijit Bangar, who has recently joined as Commissioner of Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Bangar was earlier the Commissioner of Nagpur Municipal Corporation. He was also the additional Divisional Commissioner, Nagpur. As a Commissioner of Nagpur Municipal Corporation, he was instrumental in improving the city's ranking under the Swachh Bharat mission and took the city to the top position. Sir, you have taken over the charge at a time when the entire country and even Navi Mumbai is facing a lot of challenges with regards to COVID-19 pandemic. The cases are rising here. So what measures are you planning to undertake to control this?
See, COVID-19 is a very serious challenge faced by not just our nation but a humankind. And if we consider the measures taken by corporations so far, 2-3 observations, very startling observations can be said. We need to increase testing infrastructure with a very large capacity. Right now we are dependent mostly on government labs which are situated in Mumbai or on private labs. But corporation is supposed to have its own lab so that whatever samples are being sent for testing, the turnaround time is brought down. We need to have a very less tolerance for how much time it is going to take. To be precise, if we consider the cycle through which any sample goes on RT-PCR machine, maximum turnaround time for any sample result to come should not be more than 24 hours. And that is the philosophy with which we are planning establishment of additional labs. Navi Mumbai Corporation is shortly going to start its own labs. 2 labs we are going to start. And we are going to augment the capacity of these labs in the coming times, so that our testing capacity, our own testing capacity rather increases, and moreover the turnaround time can be brought down to less than 24 hours. So testing infrastructure is something which needs to be taken care of. As I always say, early detection is the key. If we are in a position to identify a suspect patient or a high risk contact and test that person and get the result in time, then we can say half the battle is won.
Right.
Because early detection is the key. Through early detection, you are in a position to do contact tracing rigorously. Moreover, as far as that patient is concerned, you can track his health condition, and you can admit that patient. If at all the patient develops symptoms, you can admit the patient in whatever COVID facilities we have as per the symptoms, and further clinical protocol can take over. So early detection and proper clinical management is the key in managing the patient. To begin with, my objective in Navi Mumbai is to reduce death rate, and secondly to break chain of infection. We see that we are finding many positive patients per day, and the number is increasing day by day. There was a time when situation was not very bad in whole MMR region. Then Mumbai was used to be in discussion, but now Thane is getting very serious. On this background, it is very important to undertake measures to break this chain of infection, because this can't go on like this forever. And apart from testing infrastructure, 2 other issues I'll like to mention here. It is about availability of beds.
Right.
We keep getting complaints that patients are getting serious and they are not getting beds in any hospital. And that is the reason why, unfortunately conditions of some of the patients are getting aggravated, and unfortunately few patients are dying. So availability of bed, augmentation in bed capacity is very important. If we understand the COVID-19 and how virus affects body, it is important to know that ordinary bed may not help. The least we require is oxygen bed.
Right.
And then we need to increase capacity of ICU beds as well as ventilators. So we really need to increase infrastructure of oxygen beds as well as ICU beds. We as a corporation are trying to increase capacity of oxygen beds in our own facilities rather than depending totally on private hospitals. And moreover, as far as ICU beds are concerned, again, rather than depending totally on hospital, we on our own in our facilities, we are trying to increase oxygen ICU beds. And moreover, for private hospitals as well, we are urging them to, make as many ICU beds possible, available as possible, or the least they can offer is oxygen bed. There is no point in offering ordinary bed by any hospital. So this is the philosophy with which we are going ahead.
NMMC has already formed a committee which is looking after the complaints with regards to the exorbitant medical bills charged by the private hospitals. But there are still complaints that this rule is being flouted and people are getting exorbitant medical bills in private hospitals.
See, private hospitals, whatever charges they are, imposing, they need to be regulated. And with this philosophy, government came out with a government resolution. And government tried to regulate the maximum charges. By that GR, government has put a ceiling.
Right.
And that is the maximum amount that can be charged by any private hospital. That is a very elaborate GR. It speaks about various treatment protocols and speaks about what are the inclusions and exclusions of that particular rate. But anything, any order, as we all know, is subject to enforcement. And implementation, of course, depends on enforcement. So it's a very important responsibility with corporation to ensure that private hospitals don't charge exorbitant rates. In this aspect as well, we keep getting complaints from various patients that many hospitals are charging more than what they are supposed to, and we keep addressing those complaints in terms of getting in contact with that hospital, and if at all we find that there is a truth in that complaint, even action needs to be taken, and action is being taken against the hospital.
Okay.
But again, enforcement and regulation of that rate is one particular thing. The ultimate solution is going to come in terms of availability of beds. I am very sure if corporation is in a position to offer more beds of their own, both oxygen as well as ICU, private hospitals will not be in a position. Right now it is basically, unfortunately, demand supply dynamics is taking over, and since beds are in short supply, hospitals are trying. So while we are trying to enforce government resolution, and while we are trying to kind of put control over hospitals so that they don't charge extra rates, we need to work on increasing bed capacity.
That is true. And another complaints that we have been receiving is that NMMC has started a number of COVID-19 facilities for the benefit of the residents. For instance, they have started helpline number.
Right.
And also, the quarantine facilities in the centers quarantine centers that is run by NMMC. It is said that these are not up to mark and the helpline numbers are non-functional. So people are at a loss to understand how to reach or how to contact.
See, helpline number has been started by corporation, and the point which you are raising, those complaints even we have received from many patients. So we are trying to augment that infrastructure as well. For example, there need to be multiple lines. The call center needs to be manned by many people so that the frequency of the waiting period gets reduced, and at any given point of time we are in a position to attend more number of calls. So that infrastructure is being augmented. We presently are working on that, and I'm sure that within next 2 days, like by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we should be able to go public again in terms of increased capacity of the call center which we have, on which we will publish a number on which any person can contact to take information about availability of bed and any other facility which they require. Apart from that, we are in a process of establishing a call center through which we on our own will contact every positive person. That person may be isolated at home, or that person may be in our own COVID center. But through that call center, we'll establish a telephonic communication with the person on a daily basis, just to understand what is the condition of the patient, and if that patient is admitted in our COVID facility, just to understand if everything is going well. because it is very important to hear patients out. And you need not go and talk to the patient personally every day. Even one phone call can suffice, and that is how we are trying to go ahead. Even this call center will come up very soon.
And the facilities again in the quarantine center are said to be not up to mark, and there have been complaints.
Yesterday I made a visit to SIDCO Exhibition Center as well as our India Bulls Quarantine and Isolation Center in Panvel, and I had a discussion with doctors, nurses who are working there, as well as I had discussion with patients who are admitted. So I took feedback about the facilities which are being provided there. I got mixed response. While the food quality was almost every patient told that it was good, they had a few issues regarding housekeeping.
Yes.
So I understand when we are forcing patient to be institutionally quarantined or institutionally isolated, then it is our responsibility to provide best of the services there in terms of food, in terms of cleanliness, in terms of housekeeping. And that issue has been taken up on the basis of feedback, first hand feedback which I received yesterday. I have given instruction to concerned agencies that no dereliction of duty would be tolerated. As far as our facilities are concerned, they need to be of best kind of quality, and we are going to have zero tolerance. Moreover, we need to devise a mechanism through which patients can proactively approach us to give feedback.
Right.
Now what is happening, like a patient is admitted in a COVID care center, he has mobile with him, but he doesn't know whom to call. Our doctors or nurses who are working there, they might be getting feedback, but even doctors and nurses are having their own limitations. So we are going to display numbers in every COVID center, be it a COVID hospital or a ordinary COVID care center, and we are going to come up with a list of numbers on which complaints can be registered, either through SMS, either through phone call. So any person who is having mobile can register a complaint, give a feedback about the facility they are having.
During the lockdown, there are some shops selling essential commodities, whether it's groceries and medical stores, are supposed to remain open for a stipulated time. But then again, there have been complaints that some of the grocery shops are forced to shut even before the stipulated time, which is causing a lot of inconvenience to the residents. So what would you like to say on this?
See, during lockdown period, every lockdown order comes with the conditions it is subjected to, and no lockdown order comes with a condition that essential supplies need to be curtailed, because essential supplies are something which cannot be compromised upon. So as far as essential supplies are concerned, like grocery, vegetable, milk, or even medicine, these shops are supposed to be open. We again, wherever we receive feedback through people, through newspapers, through news which we watch, or through public representatives, that some of the shops are being shut, even though they are essential supplies. Through our people who are working on the ground, we try to approach them and we try to urge them that as many essential supplies need to be available as possible. Moreover, containment area management is something which is a kind of challenge as far as availability of essential supplies is concerned, because within containment area, even essential supplies are not supposed to be open.
Okay.
So there the responsibility or the onus is totally on corporation employees to make those essential supplies available in containment areas. So this is something where I am observing few gaps, and we are working on that. That as far as containment areas are concerned, we need to establish a channel of supply of every essential commodity like medicine, be it grocery or vegetable or milk, that a vendor should go and supply those commodities at the doorstep or at the gate of that society. So this is how every containment area needs to be dealt with. Then only we will be able to manage it in a professional way. But I am very sure that more and more essential supplies, the producers or the vendors are coming ahead and will be able to ensure that they are open.
Recently, antigen test facilities have been started by corporation. There have been some requests whether such test facilities can be taken up by the individual societies for their own members.
See, any COVID test which we do is regulated by a protocol prescribed by ICMR.
Okay.
So antigen test, the advantage is it's a very simple test, but even for antigen test, sample collection is a technical thing. It's not as easy as maybe UPT. Moreover, when I say it is regulated by ICMR, it means that every patient who is getting tested needs to be entered on a government portal.
Right.
And government needs to keep a record, be it a positive patient or negative patient. And that is why this regulation is there. Doesn't mean that sampling cannot be increased. So what we are going to do now? Earlier we used to have only 4 facilities where sample collection used to happen. Now we are increasing it to 23 facilities. Now all our 23 urban health posts are going to start with antigen test, and whoever wants to get themselves tested can come to those 23 health posts. Sample can be collected there itself, because presently that is an OPD where patient is tested and then they are sent to one of those 4 centers where sample collection happens.
Right.
But we are trying to increase sample collection capacity and making it available at all these 23 urban health posts. More than that, we should not keep ourselves limited to these 23 UHPs. We should go further, and at a place which is convenient to people, we should arrange a camp of sample collection so that crowd can be avoided.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that it will be possible in every society, but wherever possible we will try to decentralize. We will send our teams.
Right.
Even though sample collection is a technical thing, overall antigen test, the process is very simple. After sample collection it is like UPT, so the process is very simple. But so in a decentralized way, we are trying to increase sample collection as many places as possible, but of course subject to ICMR guidelines.
I see. And there have also been complaints with regards to the availability of injections, remdesivir, and they say there is a black marketing of the same. So how is NMMC planning to control this?
Unfortunately, supplies of these injections, these very crucial medicines, are in short supply, and there are very few dealers, authorized dealers, who are supplying them. So we have been getting complaints of black marketing. One of the ways of preventing it to when corporation ensures adequate supply, and we take up responsibility of provision of these injections to all critical patients from within the city, they should not bother. For example, a particular patient needs this injection, then the relative doesn't need to run behind dealers
Yes.
or medicine shops. They just need to make a call to corporation and this injection would be made available. And this is what we are trying to do. Presently we have placed an order was placed for 1000 injections of all 3 categories. It has been augmented by 3000 more, and today again we are going to place a order of 3000 more. Supply doesn't happen immediately because this is a demand is from world over, and so supply is coming in phases, but still at any given point of time we will not have any shortage. Even today we have a sufficient stock available with us, and wherever needed, including private hospitals, we are providing as far as the citizen is from within the city. So corporation will ensure that adequate supply is there, and we will provide for any patient being treated within corporation jurisdiction, or any patient who is from corporation jurisdiction.
Apart from the COVID, you have been very instrumental with regards to Nagpur Corporation in improving the ranking of Nagpur city with regards to Swachhata Abhiyan. Already Navi Mumbai has fared quite well. So what will be your take on this?
See, Navi Mumbai has been doing so well in terms of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and Navi Mumbai has always been leading from the front, and credit needs to be given to the whole administration as well as, most importantly, the citizens of the city. And even in Nagpur we used to look at, like, apart from Indore, Navi Mumbai was the example being followed by so many people. So that way I am very fortunate to be working here, and I'll get to lead this team who already is doing so well. So it again is going to be challenging, because when you are at a 50%, you can reach 90% easily. But when you already are a 90% or a 95%, the further each percent is not very easy. But ultimately, I keep saying, it doesn't depend on the efforts taken by administration. It totally depends on the response given by citizens. And that way I consider myself fortunate, because citizens of Navi Mumbai are very much aware, and very much proactive in terms of their performance in Swachh Bharat or overall cleanliness. And that way I'm very sure that we would be, doing very good.
We take pride in calling
Yes,
ourselves to. And
certainly.
any message that you would like to give it to the future?
See, COVID-19 is a very serious threat to humanity, and this can be tackled only through initiatives of citizens. Of course, government is doing whatever they can, corporation, police administration, everybody is doing. We are not leaving any stone unturned, literally, for saving lives of people. But then, administration or efforts of administration and government are not enough alone. It is up to people to behave responsibly. We keep saying, and even citizens have been hearing from so many sources, but the howsoever or whatever number of times we are saying that the importance doesn't get reduced. People should avoid coming out of home. If at all it is necessary, they should come out. Then social distancing, wearing mask, washing your hands as many times as possible, sanitizing. These are very important aspects. Moreover, we need to take care of senior citizens in our family. We need to take care of the persons with comorbid conditions like a TB patient or a diabetic, hypertensive patient or a patient with a cancer history. These are the people, those persons need to be taken care of. If we follow self-discipline, it starts with you. And if I am aware enough that I am going to protect myself, I am going to protect my family, and then I am going to protect my society, my colleagues, my friends. And when every citizen is aware enough, we all can together definitely, create a serious challenge before this pandemic as well. And we definitely can win this battle. So I urge all citizens of Navi Mumbai through you to behave responsibly, to follow self-discipline.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bangar. And as a publication, we assure you all the support to the corporation. We would be happy to be the medium between the corporation and the public to
Great.
spread awareness message.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy.